Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Sandeep, and you are watching Indian Weekender's special show on National Party's future. So, as we all know, that last 12 hours has been electrifying in the New Zealand's political space, and especially the last 3 hours. So, the drama began from last evening when the now former party leader, Judith Collins, issued a press release demoting one of the another former leader, Simon Bridges, on some allegations. And since then, it has been an electrifying 12 to 18 hours. So, to discuss more on this and to discuss the future of the National Party and also to tap the level of frustration within the wider Kiwi Indian community towards the National Party, we have organized this special show. And I'm being joined by my co host for today, Sunil Kaushal. Sunil, can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon, Sandeep.
Good afternoon, Sunil. So, first of all, let me ask you, like, how has been the last 3 hours for you today?
Oh, it's a big turmoil, and I think the writing was on the wall since the last NewsHub Read Research poll came out that didn't put Judith in a good position. And I think the way it has happened is obviously a little bit, well, I don't think it's a little bit, but for the National Party, it's something that they didn't want or they wouldn't need at this time, especially close to Christmas, because that's the memory that people will have till next February. And I think all the Labour Party would be rubbing their hands looking at this. It's very sad that it's happened. But I think hopefully whoever the new leader is, they can rebuild.
Surely, I completely agree with that. Now, let's plan what we're going to do probably for next half an hour or so. The idea is that you and me, let's toss on some ideas and revisit the last 12 hours, see the real political side of this rolling over drama that has unfolded in front of us, right from the beginning of the issuance of the sudden press release by Judith. And then we will come and talk more elaborately about the frustration that we know is right now within the Kiwi Indian community, like the rest of New Zealanders, about how National Party has once again seemingly failed to rise on the occasion. So what exactly your thoughts? Like, सुनील, आप ये बताइए, जैसे ही जूडिथ ने जब वो प्रेस रिलीज निकाली थी बाहर, सबसे पहला थॉट आपके दिमाग में क्या आया था?
मेरे दिमाग में यही आया था, वो डर रही है.
Right. Okay. So it was definitely, it was kind of a preemptive strike. Is it fair to say that Judith's press release was more like a preemptive strike on Simon Bridges?
It is a preemptive strike, right? Raat ko 9 baje you're issuing a press statement saying that I'm dismissing or I'm demoting him for all this thing that happened 5 years ago. Now, a wise man would think, well, 5 years ago, where was the party president? I don't think it's, it was like, to me, first thing that came to my mind was, National Party really needs to recheck their board and their president and all, because the same president is there today. And if it wasn't handled then the buck stops at the president. Yeah.
Surely.
And we know that Bill English did reprimand Simon Bridges at the time. We don't know what happened, what the occasion was, and how it was all done. But to bring out something, because she probably smelled, a coup happening. And because this is the second or the third time the ratings have gone down and the party hasn't come. And it's a normal thing in politics. If you look at New Zealand politics towards Christmas, someone's head, if you're not performing well, someone's head is going to roll.
No, definitely. Now, coming back to, I think you raise very important points. The timing of the press release. B, about the National Party board. I think these were the two main issues that clicked my head as well. And what strikingly came to my mind was that this press release was issued by, I think, by Judith Collins herself. Probably I personally didn't receive a press release from her staff, the press release staff who sends out to everyone. So it was definitely quite a desperate thing. And the way in which National Party board was reined in and quote unquote, the unanimous decision was written over there, it basically puts National Party board into a question as well. And from what we know from today, that probably those questions has been raised, that why National Party board member would have decided to join the line or to fall in line of Judith's dictate and issue a unanimous dictate. We will be speaking to our other guest as well, who would be, I think, more closely working with National Party, and they will be able to reveal more on that, Sunil. Uh, और आपके दिमाग में कोई जो इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आया हो या डाउट आया हो कल रात में 9 बजे जब ये ड्रामा शुरू हुआ?
बस ये यही था कि वापस से शुरू हो गई है, ये इस साल आई थिंक नेशनल पार्टी को अच्छी तरह से कैपिटलाइज करना चाहिए था on the debacle of vaccines, and Judith, I have utmost respect for Judith as a minister. She was excellent, right? But as a party leader, she failed. And ना किसी को आने दिया ना खुद करा. That is the thing that came to my mind.
Sure.
It's easy to say when the person is gone, right?
Of course,
but
of course.
If you look at all the commentators and everyone, even National Party voters, they were dismayed with Judith. And I think, hopefully in the coming days, they find the true leader who can take them to the next
Sure.
place.
No, no, I completely agree with that. And just to add on that and acknowledge Judith's leadership stint of last probably, I think, 20 odd months, is that the National Party leadership was thrust upon Judith Collins. Like she हमको अच्छे से मालूम है last time जब leadership turmoil हुआ था, so I think the whole party has went and asked Judith to be the leader. So the leadership was definitely thrust upon her, and I think in that space she has done.
No. Thrust upon her is very wrong to say.
Okay.
She was in waiting, right? She had the good opportunity. Time was right for her. ठीक है. पहले क्या कहते हैं टॉड मलर, मैथ्यू हुटन टॉड मलर किस्सा, I think is the worst defining moment of the National Party, which shouldn't have happened, but it happened.
Sure. Sure.
अब next leader कौन होएगा? Judith has been sitting there, right? So it basically fell in her lap.
Sure.
Mark Mitchell has been trying to raise his hand for a long time.
Yes.
And I think her choice of a deputy was excellent, is still excellent, and if the caucus decides, I think he would make an excellent leader.
Well, yeah, वो तो अभी बिल्कुल मुझे लगता है आगे 3 4 5 दिन ये चलने वाला है until next Tuesday, when national caucus will come again and they will vote, and we will definitely be getting to know more about that. And just to add on what has actually happened, हमें जो मालूम चला है कि जो allegations लगा था वो जो जिस एमपी ने लगाया था उसका भी कमेंट आने वाला है थोड़ी देर से अभी. We will get to know and hear from there. Now we have also heard from Simon Bridges, who have already signaled that he would be putting up his hand again. Rumors पहले से ही थे. We will keep on talking more about that. Lekin I think, Sunil, this is right time for us to bring our first panelist or first guest on the show and get to hear from him as well. So I would like to invite former National Party MP, Kiwi Indian MP, Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi ji, and who is also a current member of list. So very much an MP in waiting as well. If something dramatically changes in next few months within the National Party, and we will like to see what insider information he has got for us. So welcome to our show, Bakshi ji. Very good afternoon to you. How are you today?
नमस्कार संदीप जी और सभी पैनलिस्ट को मेरी प्यार भरी नमस्कार. Thank you very much for having me on your show. It is a very sad day how it has happened. Last 12 hours, as we are discussing, and rightly pointed out by Sunil on a number of occasions that what has happened. I won't agree with him that she was not thrust upon the leadership. She was asked to take the leadership the way the things happened. No doubt she was one of those who was waiting for to be the leader of National Party. She always had that interest in it, but the timing was such that there was nobody else, and being a leader of opposition is the toughest job in politics. You are in
Bakshiji, don't you
opposition.
think Mark Mitchell was a good leader or could have been a good leader? He
Uh,
raised his hand.
Look, there are many ifs and buts. We can take few names that who could be the
And
best leader. But
my
the thing
input
is, at that time, Judith was asked to take over the leadership.
And my input on that is, Sunil, that I think, and that is where probably National Party, I rate him slightly better than Label, that, you know, politicians, political leaders, they are expected to lead from the front. They are expected to be ambitious, both in their vision and from what they want to achieve. So my understanding is that everyone in the caucus should have that ambition to be a leader at some stage, either by choice or when he or she is thrust upon. So by that
So,
logic, it's come down to somebody, who just is ready at that stage to put up his hand or her hand in front and do the numbers that is required after
Numbers
as
are
Simon Bridges
important.
has said.
Obviously, the reason why I'm saying is ki, Judith was sitting there quietly, and Mark, I think, failed a couple of times for the leadership bid. And at the end of the day, it was the next probable candidate was Judith.
so there was, I can't tell you what happened in the caucus at that time, but she was asked to take the leadership role,
Yeah.
and she took it, and I think she did well. We know that the reason for the Labour landslide was not the leadership, but it was because of the COVID. And we have seen the failure of Labour Party for last 4 years. They have not been able to deliver anything what they promised, whether it is Kiwi housing
Sure,
or
sure, we will
so
we will
many things.
yeah, we
We
will
were,
sorry
yeah.
to
See,
interrupt you, Bakshiji. We will shift the focus
coming,
from
hang
Labour
on, hang on.
Party.
Sandeep, just
Okay.
wait. One thing, Bakshiji mentioned about her coming into the leadership before the election, right?
Yeah.
Which is which is all and which is okay, great. And I don't think anyone would have expected her to win because of the way Labour Party was making it into a COVID election and then a lockdown, right? So you may be the best leader, you may have tried to do everything, but it would have been very tough. You have to give that to Judith. She did her best at that time, and
Yes.
okay, a loss is a loss, but in the circumstances that were there, I think she did well. Yeah.
Right. No, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now I think we need to bring back our focus from probably what happened 20 months ago to probably what happened and what started to happen in last 1 week. So as things started to unfold, I think unless Bakshiji has got some insider information, I think we all are on the same boat. हम पिछले 18 घंटे से देख रहे थे क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है. तो जो हमें आज न्यूज़ मालूम चली, आज हमें जब मालूम चलना शुरू हुआ that probably the complaint was raised few days ago with the leader. This is a resurfacing of a 5-year-old complaint. And then from what we have heard from Dr. Shane Reti as well, that it was raised with the leadership and the deputy leadership, and then probably Dr. Shane Reti went and spoke to Simon Bridges and gave him an opportunity to express his side of opinion, which he chose not to comment. And then probably, so those kind of things are appearing in media right now. I'm sure you all will be aware. So my question to you is, Bakshiji, that is it fair to say that Judith Collins was preparing since last couple of days to counter any potential challenge that would be launched by Simon Bridges? तो ऐसा जैसा मीडिया में अफवाहें आ रही थी कि Simon Bridges is ready to roll over Judith at any time. So is it fair to say that Judith was preparing on those lines, like trying to resurface a very old allegation so that she can strike at her own time of convenience?
So the thing is that this issue, which came surfaced, I would say, in last week or so, uh, problem is that anybody in this position will have to take some action. So Judith has tried to show the leadership. Timing is wrong. The timing is wrong because there are so many issues which needs to be addressed by the leader of opposition rather than taking up this. This could have been resolved within the four walls of the party. The caucus could have been taken into the confidence. This is what has happened, how we should resolve it. And taking out at midnight doesn't mean make sense. that is the problem, why the caucus is upset. Caucus should have been taken into the confidence, and that could have resolved a lot of things. What they did today, they had a robust discussion, and I can tell you that everyone is allowed to share their views, what is their view about any issue. And that's why it took almost more than 2 hours for the caucus to come out with a decision. So I think it will be, again, a robust leadership challenge on Tuesday. And my suggestion to the caucus members is that make sure you come out united out of that room. That is the requirement of today's time. The challenge you want to put in front of Labour Party is possible only if you are united, and that's where I see that National Party should go.
But do you think that Judith was obviously wrong in taking out a press release at 9 o'clock at night, and probably as they say, dug her own grave?
Uh, Look, as I said, she should have taken it to the caucus first and discuss it over there, and then come up with the suggestion of the caucus or whatever she wanted to take the decision about it. But taking a decision out of her own sweet will, has made it difficult for everyone.
Certainly, if she would be thinking her ratings are going down, Simon is releasing his book today. He's
But
having a
this
nice
this
opportunity,
won't
you
yeah
know.
this
And
won't help
then,
her.
yeah, and then she realizes that okay, a challenge is definitely going to come. How do I eliminate my enemies?
So I don't know about the what's in her mind, but the thing is, the principle was the complaint has been brought to the notice of the leader, and leader has to take some decision on it.
Yeah,
So
that,
that's where I feel that it is the fight of the principle what she has taken, but the process might be wrong
fight
and
of the
process.
principle. Actually, fight of the principle happened 5 years ago too.
Yeah. So that's where I feel that the decision has been very hard on everyone. Whatever it was taken last night, it has affected everyone, not only
Surely.
Judith Collins, but the party also.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल नहीं, थैंक यू वेरी मच बख्शी जी। आपसे हम बात करते रहेंगे। अभी हमें और इनसाइडर इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए कि कॉकस में क्या हो रहा होगा। आई थिंक देयर इज नोबडी एल्स बेटर देन यू विद इन आवर कीवी इंडियन कम्युनिटी टू बी एबल टू शेयर दैट, बट आई थिंक दिस इज टाइम, सुनील, आई होप यू एग्री विद दैट दिस इज टाइम टू ब्रिंग इन our other guest as well and see what they have got to say. Like, I think probably I would like to bring and invite Ajay Bal. As we all know that he is a rising IndoNet member, and he wears multiple hats, and yeah, it's time to bring him on. So welcome to our virtual show, Ajay. How are you today?
Thank you, Sandeep ji, and hello everyone on the respective panelists, and thank you, Indian Weekend, for getting me here.
Right. So, Ajay ji, Bakshi ji is being as diplomatic as we expect from him. I think you are still out of the caucus, and you are a strong National Party supporter. So, I would like to know what were your initial thoughts since this drama began to unfold last night?
Look, I think National Party has been going through this change in leadership, and what's been happening in their within their own team from since the last election, and I think that was primarily the reason we lost in 2017. Look, leadership changing is part of any political scenario, and having a right person for the job is very important for any political party. So if it's happened, I think it must have happened for a good reason. Obviously, Judith Collins has done a great job. Being an opposition leader is the most toughest job in this world and in the political cycle. So she has done well, she performed well, but I think it was time for her to go. And the new person who could actually bring the team together, that's what we lack at the moment in the National Party. From my very small experience, I see that the team is not together. If the team comes together, everything will change within the party.
But that's what Judith said when she took over, that she's got the team there. She had all the members of parliament behind her. And yes, it's a very tough job to be in the opposition You don't get the media time. You don't get to announce any policies. You don't get to do anything, and it's the worst 3 years to sit as an opposition leader or to sit in opposition. No one wants to be in opposition.
Yeah.
But do you think that when you say it was the right time to go, what makes you think so?
Well, I think what I see from my knowledge and experience is, in politics, the intentions of the leaders are to win an argument, but winning an argument is not a solution. I see it this way. I think we need someone within the party at the moment and lead a party who's actually not just making arguments, but actually delivering stuff as well. So I'm not saying that Judith was failed to deliver it, but she may have not succeeded either. So I think if someone who could actually, bring a solution and actually make one out of two New Zealanders feel that National Party is a government in waiting, that would make a lot of difference.
But Shiji, Ajay says a very good point about not just winning argument, and what people are noticing is that acts coming out of policies. Do you think the lack of Judith and her team not to bring out any policy has resulted in the drastic drop in her popularity?
I think it's wrong to say that National hasn't come. We have to take as National as a party, not as the leaders. So if you start from the COVID days of Simon Bridges, we have been coming up with the solutions. We have been asking for so many things. We asked for the borders to be closed. We asked for the MIQ. We asked for the testing, saliva testing. But this government has adopted all those things, but on a later stage when the lot of water have passed under the bridge. So the policies and the solutions were provided by National from time to time, but they can't implement those policies. They
No, they
can
can't.
just suggest.
Yes,
So
they
they
can't.
can just suggest. So the credit is not coming from the government that these policies were suggested by National Party. We were doing so well during the Simon Bridges era, and we saw that we were able to form the government with the ACT Party. Now the media is trying to portray that everything is good
But
from the
Shiji,
ACT
you are
Party, not from the National
going
Party.
back in history. आप हमको history की class दे
Sunil,
रहे हो. We are talking
Sunil
about
ji,
नो
Sunil
नो
ji, I would
सुनील
agree
तो
with
हिस्ट्री
that.
तो आएगी बीच में.
नहीं, देख-
हिस्ट्री तो आएगी बीच में क्योंकि
मैं तो
अभी
last
मीडिया
year
क्या
कर रहा हूँ.
अभी
That is
मीडिया
not
क्या
wrong.
yeah, I'm telling you that media is just trying to portray that everything which is coming good is from the ACT Party. It is not like that. A lot of things have come good from the National Party. Both the parties are working to make sure they make the Labour government answerable. So
Right.
it's media who has to portray
Definitely.
that, give
We
the
will take that criticism with open heart, Bakshi ji. And Sunil, like being in media, just like politicians, we should be open for taking all the criticism, and that basically reminds
He's
me
not
of
criticizing.
Simon
He's just
Bridges.
saying something.
Kya?
I said he's not criticizing. He's pointing a point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was in absence of a better word. And criticism is a very fondly used word within the world of politics. We all criticize all the time, media to politics and politics to media, and we never mind that because that's a job on our hand. Now, on that note, probably it's time to bring our other guest. Who's again a seasoned member of Kiwi Indian community, Mr. Anil Lamaji, and he is also known in the community as a strong supporter of National Party. So let's bring him on our show. Welcome to our virtual show, Anil ji. कैसे हैं आप?
बस ठीक ठाक. Thank you for having me on the show.
So you are welcome, sir. And I will start with the same question that me and Sunil have been asking to all our guests. That how has been the last 18 hours for you as a strong supporter of National Party?
Well, the only thing I can say is that there was a lot of talk about there should be a change in the leader. And if you look back when Judith came, as much as she came in as a leader, the whole caucus is involved in bringing her in because they all voted for her. What has been lacking for some time is the unity in the caucus and the front of the National Party to give a united face. When it came out, I said, in a way, it's a blessing in disguise because the person is digging their own grave. So you try to look for every positive. You look at the All Blacks. When they lose a match, they talk what positives you get out of it. We can keep talking about what should have been done and what shouldn't have been done. Now that's history. Let's look forward and what needs to be done. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise for the National Party, and I think they've done a very good thing, is not choosing a new leader in a knee-jerk reaction. They're giving themselves time till Tuesday. They will give time to go back, think what the strategies are, and come out with a completely something which the public have been asking for. As far as Judith's performance, I have seen two sides of her. I've seen her as a very caring person when I didn't know her. At the same time, I've seen a side where she likes to work independently and do things off the fly. In a political party, that necessarily may not work because it's a democratic process. It's a process where you involve everybody in what you want to do. And going by what Bakshiji said, that if you want to do something, you've got to involve the whole caucus. I knew that something was wrong when she says the whole board is after me. And if you look earlier, whenever a board comes out with a statement, they say, we are behind the leader. This time, nobody said that. So that clearly showed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anilji. I would say that's a very balanced insight that you have given to us on this issue, and we will keep on talking more on that. But I think, Sunil, this is the time for us to toss another question. जैसा अनिल जी ने जवाब दिया है उसमें क्रिटिसिज्म जो नेशनल पार्टी के लिए वो कम है. ही इज ट्राइंग टू सी द ब्राइट साइड व्हिच ऑब्वियसली वी एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम हिम लाइक एनी लॉयल सपोर्टर ऑफ द पार्टी. बट सुनील, आई थिंक इट विल बी फेयर टू आस्क एंड थ्रो दिस क्वेश्चन that like the rest of New Zealanders, there is enough frustration within the Kiwi Indian community towards the National Party. Do you think it's a fair question to ask? I will start with you, Sunil, and then we will go to our other guests.
Yeah, look, it's a fair question to ask, and it's very easy to ask and to reply when something like this happened, right? क्योंकि सब पुराने लीडर की बदनामी करेंगे, and I don't think that should be the thing, right? You ask it as a job, and as I said previously, she was a great minister, right? No one expected her to win the elections because of the way it was organized and the way it happened, short-term, COVID, etc. But what I would have expected is that after the leadership, everything, this year, she would have really got after the Labour Party, because remember, Labour Party has got the majority. And I think, it's Labour's loss that she has gone. I see it from that point of view, because having Judith there, they were riding high. Now, if the new person comes, they come with passion, they come with, energy and all, and it's to be seen who's going to come. And, and they will try to stamp their mark over the next 2 years. And, I think it's a great opportunity for whoever comes. Frustration was there because it seemed like, and it was a perception that, Judith is doing nothing and National is doing nothing, and because the polls were, the disgruntled voters were moving towards ACT, and ACT was rising. So, everyone started seeing ACT in the good light and National in the bad light. And then obviously the blame comes on the leader. And I think she did not defend it well, of why the popularity is coming, etc. And even her latest post yesterday showing that she was X amount of days in Auckland and, and taking a stab at David, rather than just taking a stab at Jacinda. I think that was which I saw, and I would think if I were a national voter, I would think, why are you comparing someone else who's your supporting partner?
Sure. Well, Sunil, thanks for your insight. And I would agree with most of the part, except with the little bit part about trying to bash Labour today. In my humble opinion, today is the day to keep focus on National and talk about their perceived failures and their shortcomings. We have other opportunities of bashing Labour when they actually falter. But today, I think they are standing aside and smiling, and they are probably enjoying from what they are seeing, the implosion. I think I will throw in another question, or rather rephrase it, and I will put towards the youngest member in the panel of our guest, Ajay. Since he is an aspiring, I would say, to get into politics or be into the leadership in the National Party, I think, Ajay, is it fair to say that probably you amongst the three, Bakshiji and Anil Lamaji, you are going to face the stiffest challenge of convincing the National supporters that what has happened for the good, or do you find it challenging, or you would be able to convince those prospective voters that yes, this was much needed, and what has happened for good?
I think Sandeepji, this you're talking about the Indian community not being happy with
Yes,
the National
Indian
Party or
community.
anything.
Yes, that's the focus.
I have my different opinions on it. I guess as an Indian community, our values are more aligned with National Party than with any other party. National Party represent progress. National Party represents success. And being an Indian community, we also share the same value. So I
So
have not
I will
seen
take
in
it
my
as your personal opinion, and I welcome that.
yes,
But
that's
yeah, I
right.
do understand that within Key Indian community, like everywhere else in life, opinions and opinions
Yeah.
would be divided as well. So yeah, I will
Yes.
let you
So
continue
I
with
think
that.
for the whatever changes are happening in the leadership of National Party, I think it's gonna benefit. If there is a resentment in the Indian community towards the National Party, it's going to benefit to get that attention and get that voting back to National Party if the leadership is changing, because I think that the change is going to happen for good. So I believe this change which is coming up and this change which has happened today, it is going to make Indian community more connected to the National Party.
All right. Sunil, would you
Sandeep,
like? Sorry,
I'd
yes.
like to add
Yeah,
something
sure,
here.
sure.
The last 2 years of the National Party, see, I'm involved with the Indonets and I'm involved at the regional office. So we have been doing a lot of fundraising at the regional level and we get very good support from the Indian community. However, in the last maybe 6 months or 8 months, the support has been coming for the party, not for the leaders. So you have two types of support, which one, like for example, people would follow John Key and they want to back him. And the second is the people who want to back the National Party. So
Right.
they understand that the National Party is going through a tough phase. But even when Todd Muller came, we were given 7 days to do a fundraise, and we had one of the most successful, fun events with a lot of money collected. So
Right.
even though the people may not know who the leader is or don't have an idea about them, it's not about the leader, it's about the party. So
Well,
we have to
that's a very interesting and
we
very
have to
honest
shift our
insight.
focus. The other thing is, I think this is
Can I
time.
ask you? Can I ask you, Anilji? Can I ask
I'll
you just one question?
just finish one thing.
Sure.
Labour will not be rejoicing. They should be shitting in their pants. Because as long as Judith was there was too much talk about in the press, when is she going to be rolled? That story is now over. The new leader will have the whole ample opportunity to broadcast the policies of the national government, what they want to do. And what
There
Sure,
you
sure.
That's what I exactly said.
so like I said, you have to play the game as it's thrown to you. And
No,
that
no,
is the
definitely,
advantage
definitely.
you have to drive on.
No, I completely agree with that. And as my co-host Sunil has also agreed. But I was really intrigued by one of very honest and insightful comment that you made, that as an Indonet functionary, you were able to see that the support was coming for the National Party, but might not for the leader. So I just want to ask you that as a functionary of Indonets, did you relate those sentiments to the National Party leadership?
This committee of the Indonets has been very proactive in interacting with the higher level of the national party. Like I said, there were some things which were happening. We got to know on a Friday. Something was to happen on a Monday. We went to the board on the weekend, and by Saturday afternoon, we were told it will not happen. So we have a party leadership which is willing to listen to the caucus.
So have you conveyed that there is support is for National Party and not
Yes,
for
we
the
have.
then leader?
We have. And we have also told them that if the leadership changes, maybe the support will increase or it will come out more openly. Yes. And that is and that may be one of the things which you're seeing today. Because
So,
these sentiments are being told not only to the board level, but even to direct MPs where people call up and ask. We have a
Anil, my question to you is, and I discussed this with Sandeep earlier, and I think I asked Bakshiji also, where is the board in all this? Why don't they take responsibility? I mean, the board president has been there for a long time. He's a good fundraiser, etc. But when there was an opportunity for change, people in National Party did not accept that. So are we saying that the National Party, the board and the members are happy with status quo? They just keep
No.
changing their leaders?
No, it's not that. You need to understand what is the responsibility of the board. I also used to think like you that the board should get involved. The board's responsibility is the governance of the party, not the caucus, not the leader. The leader and the caucus run parliament. The board stays out of the politics of that. The board will be involved in how the processes are involved. What is the bigger picture? Does the party have enough funding? People do not realize the National Party is a completely volunteer organization. We have less than 10 or 15 paid employees. Am I right, Bakshiji? In the
Yes,
central
almost.
Yes.
Almost.
I think I will take the opportunity.
I'll just add one this.
Okay.
If you look at the Labour Party is run by trade unions. The trade unions are de facto paid by the employees. So the Labour Party is running their operations completely outside by having thousands of people supporting, and the National Party has only a 15 or 20. Everyone else in the National Party is a volunteer.
No, I get
Sandeepji,
that.
Sandeepji, can I just make an
Sure.
apology? I have to rush. I've got another appointment to get to, but I really enjoyed my conversation, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
All right.
And thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you very much, Ajay ji. I think
See you soon.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
will hold back our questions. Jo aa gaye the, we will come back and speak to some other time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I wanted to tell Ajay ji that he's most welcome to come to our Indonets meeting because I've never seen him over there. So he's involved with the Indian community, but not in the Indonets as a committee member. He does attend our events as a participant.
Right. So I think
Anil ji, is it open to me also?
No, you're most welcome, Bakshi.
No, it means no.
No,
I'm not in.
Bakshi ji, if you have seen, we have one of the largest committees. Anyone who puts their hand up and says, I want to be involved, we are more than welcome to involve.
May I briefly intervene? May I briefly intervene and bring another guest?
Absolutely.
Sorry, gents. I will just briefly intervene and I will bring another guest to fill in the space by Ajay. I think we are being joined by Shiva Kallari ji, who we all know is again a National Party strong supporter. Probably it would be good to get him on studio. I think my producer is trying to. Yes, Shiva is there. Hello, welcome to our virtual show today. Shiva, how are you today?
Good, really good. Good afternoon, all gentlemen. It's nice to see you guys, and it's a progressing news happening in the National Party.
So right. Okay, so what are your initial thoughts? Like we have been hearing some very robust thoughts from our esteemed guest. Are you frustrated or you're excited with the leadership change? How would you put words to your thoughts?
I'm excited with the new leadership change. Whatever Judith has done, she has done obviously very awesome job so far. She done a great job bringing up the party together, and she worked very hard as well. But this is the time to have a change as well. So she has run for one election, and there is a second election coming on 2023. So as you see in the record of the National Party, every election will be changed with a new leader. So that is the why I think it's need to be changed right now. As you know that if you are selling some product for a 3 years, same product, you can't sell that much faster than as you bring a new product into the company. So the same.
She wasn't there for 3 years. She was only there for 400 odd days.
Yeah, it's the leader is going to change right now. He's going to be there for next election. So there will be a chance for every person to be a leader in the party.
Where did she go wrong?
Sorry?
Where did she go wrong?
No, I'm not saying she went wrong. She didn't do anything wrong, but the people want a new. That's why the people are, as you see the media right now, every day there is a talk about Judith Collins in Herald. They are harassing the National Party at the moment, New Zealand Herald, saying that, oh, we need to change the leader. We need to change the leader. That's what the prescription of the media is putting into the public. They are feeding like what you say, baby feeding for the public, saying that there's a leader.
I will take your criticism with open heart, Shivaji. But the thing is, as things turned out to be, like they have been saying that a rollover is imminent, and eventually it actually happened. So we cannot say that media is wrong all the time.
Sandeep ji, I'll stand correct you. The rollover never happened. She dug her own grave. Had she not made the statement yesterday, we would not be having this discussion today.
Fair enough. No, I completely understand.
every action has a consequence and another reaction. And today's action is a reaction of what she did. So
Right.
there is nobody responsible other than herself. Yes,
Bakshiji, yeah, I
we
get
are
that.
available.
Hang on. I'll ask Bakshiji. Bakshiji, do you think, we're talking about media running after her? Was she doing that poor job that the media was running after her?
All right, Sunil, before I answer to your question, I need to go back to the previous question which Sandeep raised about the party. One thing we need to remember that nobody is bigger than National Party. Party has been there for more than 90 years, and every leader, whoever has a thought that she or he is the one who is leading the party and party is because of her or him, is wrong. We need to understand National Party is the brand, and we have to protect that brand, and that has been there for over 90 years. So that is where we sometimes go wrong. We feel that we are bigger than the party, and that's where some of the things have happened in recent past. The people are thinking they are the brand and they can win the elections. It is not going to happen unless the brand National Party is protected and promoted. That's
But
one thing.
Bakshiji, you're talking about brand. We
Yeah.
all know John Key was a brand. Even
Along,
today, he's a brand.
he is a brand, but the thing is, that was because of the National Party. When he started, it was the National Party. It was not the John Key brand which was promoted. So
Well,
he
talking
came
about
and joined. So we are going into history. We are not talking about it, but we have to remember this thing that National Party will be the brand. It will remain there. Many people like me will come and go, but National Party will remain there.
I
So
think,
we
yeah,
have to understand that this is where we sometimes go wrong. We think that we are the brand. It is not the brand. The National Party is the brand.
श्योरली आई थिंक बख्शी जी ने बड़ा अच्छा मुद्दा उठाया है और पॉइंट उठाया है. वी शुड नॉट बी गोइंग बैक टाइम एंड अगेन इनटू हिस्ट्री,
Yeah.
एंड लेट्स ट्राई टू लुक इनटू द फ्यूचर बिकॉज दैट्स द गोल ऑफ दिस today's panel discussion. And
Yeah.
so probably for the, I think that what best we can do is next Tuesday को जैसा जो vote schedule है, vote of change is scheduled, so let's try to see if we can see what's in future for the next 3 odd days, 5 odd days. So, Bakshiji, coming back to your statement that you said, talking about the brand, if I have to ask you that, who, according to you, could be the best potential candidate under whom this National Party brand could be reinstalled? So,
The thing is, Sandeep ji, it is a very tough question upon anyone. I am not part of the caucus. It is the caucus decision. We have talked about the board. Board doesn't have any role for electing a leader. It is only the caucus members who are present in that room can decide. Not even the president sitting on the table doesn't have a vote for it. So it has to be understood that caucus will decide. I think there are many capable people in the party who can lead the party to the 2023 election, and we can win it. The way the things is, I don't want to go into the politics of Labour Party right now, as you said that we will do some other day. But the
sure.
thing is, there are so many issues which needs to be addressed and raised, and we have successfully raised these issues in the past. For example, the migrant issues.
No, no,
They,
surely, sir. Surely. Sir,
the
I will
party
have to
was,
stop you there. I
yeah,
understand. I get your
yeah,
point. Let's
yeah,
leave it for another day. Sunil, I
yeah.
think, can we agree between you and me, and then probably we can throw another question? Going by the reports that is appearing in media, from what we have briefly heard, that possible candidates could be Simon Bridges, he has also revealed himself that he will consider the decision to put up his hand. The other names that we have heard as of now is Mark Mitchell and Christopher Luxon. And these are the three names that are going into rounds. Then there is a fourth name that is again of Dr. Shane Reti. I don't know, like anyone has written that Dr. Shane Reti might be wanting to put up his hand to continue, but we never know that he could be another compromise candidate. So these are the four names, and we can leave the fifth name for any dark horse. We don't know who would come out on next Tuesday and put up his hands. So Sunil, अगर हम ये 5 नाम आगे रख के हम बात आगे कर सकते हैं, what do you think? हम
I
फिर
think, yeah, I think Simon will definitely put up his hand. I don't think it's the right time for Christopher Luxon. I think he's too early, and if he's a Chanakya, which I think he is, he would probably form his team first and make sure that if he picks up the leadership like closer to the elections or maybe after the elections, he has a good support team. I think it's probably too early for him to put up his hand. Mark Mitchell, certainly, he has shown his intention. He's well liked by the media. He's and he's a good, experienced member of parliament, and also he's worked overseas, etc. He could be, he could be the one to look for. I think Dr. Shane Reti is great. He's, he's well liked. And he's very articulate. He doesn't come out as someone who's wanting to have a fight, but he will argue his point, and which I think is very well needed at this stage. And he's also very articulate. He communicates to people, so he could be, a thing. But I think, someone I would definitely look out for is Nicola Willis. I think, John Key is probably her mentor, and well liked, and she's the one to watch out for. I think it might end up between Mark and Simon.
Right. Okay. Now, I think now I will ask the same question to Shiva and see how and what are his opinions and who he rates in what order and who will be the dark horse for him.
No, for me, is everyone is same, because the reason is everyone got their own experiences in the political field, and as you know that even their personal ones, like the Christopher Luxon has been running a big organization, and he was a CEO of a company, and he knows how to organize everything. He's been a leader. He's been showed as a leader for Air New Zealand, so he's got his experience over there. And coming to Mark Mitchell has been in the party for a long time, and he came up with the background of his police, and then he's got more, the knowledge in few other certain things. So he would be the good one as well. And same as Simon Bridges. Simon Bridges being our leader in before last elections was 2017. Before the election, he was a leader for us. So he's got that experience as well. So same thing, Nicola Willis. And when you come to the other one, Shane Reti, we need doctors as well. So he is clean-hearted man, and all five were super
That's
supermen.
one of the most diplomatic answer I have heard from anyone, Siva. but I would take it.
These five people are very good people for the party,
Sure.
and they really
Sure.
support. They are the true leaders as well, and
Sure.
we see who's going to come up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Siva. I think we have to keep on moving, and I will go to Anilji, and I would like to get some honest and maybe even scathing opinion from him on what are his choices.
Well, you see, one thing is the leadership, but it's also the team involved. Now, you look when John Key came in, Bill English was the leader of the party. Instead of fighting him, they decided to work together, and they made a formidable team. So, as much as like they say, your strength is as much as your weakest link. So, you may be a very strong leader, but if the person you team up with is not the right person, you're going to be a disaster as it is. So you may have a person, look, all five candidates are very good. They have their advantages and disadvantages. What is very important over here is who's the deputy leader with the person and how they work together. If they work as a formidable team, a person can be average and you can still get the job done. So the more important is what are the long-term goals of the candidate and whom is he willing to work with. If you have an attitude, no, I'm not going to work with Simon Bridges or I'm not going to work with Christopher Luxon, you're going to be a disaster because you're already cutting out your limits. So the most important thing, and that's what I appreciate, that they've taken 4 days to take that decision. They can go back, hold discussions among themselves, formulate a plan. It's not the leader we want, but the person who has the best plan going forward. That's more important.
Anil, the leader and the person having the best plan are probably the same. So
no, not necessarily. Because remember one thing, if Christopher Luxon was a successful CEO of Air New Zealand, he is not making the decisions. He is looking at the broader picture. The implementation has to be done by someone else. I may have the most brilliant plan. And a very simple example of that is the De Lorraine car company. The CEO, a brilliant
Yeah,
engineer,
yeah, that's fine about
and
the
he
car,
couldn't
but
execute. So it's the
yeah,
same thing here. You may
that's
have
what I was trying to
fantastic
say.
policy. You
Yeah,
may
that's
have
what I was
fantastic
trying to say,
policy.
Anil, that
If you can't deliver it to the way the people understand, it's not going to work.
no, it's not going to work. And that's why I was saying, that probably Christopher Luxon will probably wait for his team to, have a good team there and then make an attempt. But so you think, is it Simon or Shane?
Both are very good because Simon has the experience of being there. He's got the disadvantage of being there and being outed. Shane is a very articulate person. He's well educated, and he's done things a lot of, like, from the medical point of view, he's done more than any of the people who are there in the Ministry of Health at this point of time
Oh, thanks.
and living. So, like I said, everyone has their plus points and the minus points. Ultimately, what plan they come out with, how they project themselves is what's going to count.
Right. I think with that, probably Sunil, we need to go to speak to Bakshiji, and probably, yeah, he could be better placed than probably us in giving us some more insider information. I don't know, like probably he might have an opportunity to make some phone calls since this morning. And from Bakshiji, before I ask you the same question, there is a perception that you are perceived to be seen as more as a Simon Bridges loyalist. I don't know, it's a fair question to ask, but would you like to answer that?
Sandeep, you know what it is, who I am loyal to. But the thing is, the question, it needs to be answered. Who is going to be the next leader? Whosoever is going to be the next leader, the biggest job that person will have is to bring the caucus unitedly out of that room. If that happens, then only that person can succeed, whether it is Simon Bridges, Shane Reti, Mark Mitchell, or Luxon.
Okay,
Anybody.
let me ask you one more question, since you have been in that room many times before in that situation. So how easy or how difficult is that basically to unite the caucus after such a polarizing event? थोड़ा सा आप
So,
एक्सपीरियंस बताएंगे इनसाइडर इंफॉर्मेशन पहले से?
so the biggest challenge is that last 4 years has been in that situation that caucus has to come up with the ideas how we can unite to each other. In first 9 years, there was no issue at all because the strong leadership was there and the caucus was behind the leader. Today, what is happening that a lot of people have got their own intention to become the leader. The thing is that how we can bring everyone on the table and make sure that the party is
सर मैं
coming
चाहता
out.
हूं आप हमें एग्जांपल दें. आप 2 बार लीडरशिप चेंज में थे, जब एक बिल इंग्लिश when he became a leader after John Key, and then when Simon Bridges became the leader as well. You were in that room. So just tell us a little bit more about what actually happens in that room so that we can relate and expect what's going to happen in future in that room.
No, I was in the room when Judith also came in. So
Oh yes,
it is,
certainly you were. Certainly
yeah.
you were.
So I was there. So
Sure.
it is, I'm telling you this, these 4 days are going to be very critical. Whosoever wants to take the leadership, he has to approach each and every member of the caucus and convince them that how he is going to play the whole game. And that is where the unity will come. And unless that happens, whosoever becomes the leader will be a failure. That's my intake. And I should not be saying this, but this message I have conveyed to many caucus members, to the leadership from time to time, that this is what required. And coming back to the question you asked about the Indian support, I tell you, when we started in 2008, we were less than 40% on this Indian support. We peaked up to the 70% for Indian support. Even today, the Indians, they know that National Party is the party because the circumstances of a lot of Indians have changed from 2008 to 2020 now. Their intention, they know that the party which is favorable to them is National Party. Only
Sure.
National Party can deliver
Surely,
that
Bakshi.
thing.
I
So I think whosoever takes that challenge, it will be very challenging for him to bring the caucus together. We have got very capable people who can deliver on every front. If you compare with the
बिल्कुल. Sir, I'm
Labour
running short of
Party.
time, so I will have to very
Yeah.
quickly wind up. Sunil, do you have any concluding remark before we close our call of the show?
No, I think thanks everyone for the time. Good, robust discussions, but I think it's whoever takes up, there'll be a lot of horse trading going on at the moment. All the prospects would be putting up their hands, but I think it's all good to on the day on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is, to come out, with all the members of Parliament behind you and say, that blah blah blah, we're going forward, etc. But I just hope that there's no more sort of for the sake of National Party, there's no more sort of dirt flying around in the back. And I think, as all our panelists have said, that it should remain within the four walls. And hopefully 2022 would be a brighter year for the National Party.
Great. Thank you very much, Sunil, for that concluding remark. And let me conclude. First of all, I would like to thank all of our esteemed panelists, Anil Lamaji, Siva Kallariji, Bakshiji, and of course, Ajay Bal, who has to leave early as well. Thanks for your wonderful, honest, and insightful comment. It has been really very helpful. And I would like to conclude this panel discussion with one blunt remark that regardless of the solid optimism that we have seen in this digital studio towards the National Party, I would surely say that today was not a good day for them, and they have not done well. The good thing is that their leaders, they have graciously accepted the fact, including Judith Collins and Simon Bridges and Dr. Shane Reti as well. But yes, that is not enough. Having said that, that is not enough. There is deep sense of frustration within the Kiwi Indian community, like rest of New Zealanders, and this is not what we expect from National Party in the middle of a global pandemic, especially within the weeks when we have seen that the government was faltering and their votes were going down in successive polls. Probably they have handed over once again the momentum back to the government, and this is not a good sign for the National Party. National Party has once again shown to us that they are probably not capable of coming out of lockdowns in an unscathed manner. And they have again proved. So I think they have to pull up the socks and put their own house in order. Sooner the better. And on that note, I would like to end this show. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Indian Weekender. We will continue to have more conversation of this side. Thank you.